The new season of Gumball is finally here. 7 years late, but it's finally arrived. And are you ready to uncover all the hidden details in the first episodes of the series? There's a huge reference to One Piece, the Japanese anime, in the episode The Thing when Nicole is totally stressed out because Richard's mom is coming over for dinner. And that's when this Easter egg for one of the biggest anime of all time pops up. You've definitely seen or at least heard of One Piece, the story of a wild pirate crew traveling the world, fighting villains, and searching for the greatest treasure in the universe. Nicole really wants Richard to do something, but she refuses to tell him exactly what it is. And of course, the dad of the family doesn't remember anything. Luckily, he has a superpower. He can access his own memories if he eats the exact same food he had in his mouth at the time the memory happened. In one of those flashbacks, he's wearing a straw hat with a red band. Definitely the hat worn by the main character in One Piece, Monkey D. Luffy. Anime fans totally caught that reference, so will the world of Gumball be packed with pop culture Easter eggs this season? You better believe it. But now grab your popcorn, because it's time for our ultra special Cinewave. There's also a huge Star Wars reference in this season. In the episode The Distance, Nicole and Richard are worried about how much time Gumball and Darwin are spending together. So they decide to put the boys in separate bedrooms, but Gumball is not happy about it. Meanwhile, in Darwin's new room, there's a super cool poster of a movie called Stellar Odyssey, which has shown up in previous seasons, but it's awesome to see that this imaginary movie, and the whole show's universe, is sticking to the same references even after 7 years with no new episodes. Still in The Distance, there's another Star Wars reference. Gumball is freaking out over being separated from Darwin, and it gets worse when he finds out his brother is hanging out with new friends. That's when our blue cat decides to reach out to an online friend, a super weird guy who gives the worst advice ever. When this online buddy finds out Gumball wants Darwin's attention back, a reference drops that only true Jedi will get. Gumball kneels in front of the computer screen while this mysterious guy talks to him. This moment mirrors the scene where Anakin Skywalker becomes Darth Vader in the third Star Wars movie. And to top it off, the guy on screen calls Gumball Pandawan, which is clearly a twist on the word Padawan, the name for Jedi apprentices. That was a pretty awesome nod, right? In the episode The Thing, there's another reference that only hardcore movie fans will catch, or anyone who watches our videos. When Nicole is talking to Richard about what he's supposed to remember, he asks, what exactly is the thing? At that point, Mama Watterson gets annoyed, the whole room darkens, and the camera looks up at Nicole, making her seem like she's towering over us. Recognize that scene from any movie? No? Well, of course, it's a nod to the great wizard Gandalf from The Lord of the Rings. In the first movie, when Bilbo Baggins accuses Gandalf of trying to steal the magic ring, the exact same thing happens. We bet you didn't see that one coming. Seriously, the new Gumball season is full of Easter eggs. And who doesn't love video games? In The Thing, right at the beginning of the episode, Nicole is cooking and battling the stove at the same time, and in a split-second moment, she busts out one of Chun-Li's most iconic moves from Street Fighter. The move she uses is the spinning bird kick, which is one of Chun-Li's best-known attacks. The only difference is that in the game, Chun-Li flips upside down, while Nicole does it the other way around. In that same scene, the stove's burner opens up and fires a ball of flame that looks a lot like a Hadouken! Probably the most famous move in video game history. Would you want to play a Gumball video game? Drop a hashtag game in the comments so we can get to know ya. Who's your favorite Marvel superhero? We know Richard's favorite is Doctor Strange. Don't believe it? When Richard is desperate to remember what he's supposed to remember in The Thing, he starts eating everything in the grocery store, and that cranks up his memory powers to the max. That's when he starts moving the fat in his belly in a super weird way, or should we say, in a way that only Doctor Strange would. Marvel fans know that Doctor Strange moves his hands in a unique style to cast spells, and Richard does the exact same thing. Anyone watching the episode could tell right away that Dad Watterson is paying homage to the Sorcerer Supreme. And you thought there wouldn't be any nods to other cartoons? Did you spot Chilla in the new season of Gumball? In the episode The Distance, Gumball is so stressed about being separated from Darwin that he jumps into a video game where you create a character who's a panda. So first, that's a throwback to an old school internet game called Habbo Hotel, though younger fans might not catch that one. But now get ready, because Gumball always knows how to be funny and clever. Gumball's in-game panda avatar is a blue bear wearing a red vest. And come on, everyone knows what that is. It's 100% a reference to Chilla, a character from one of today's most popular cartoons. And of course, Chilla always gets brought up when people talk about another beloved show, Bluey, straight from Australia. So yeah, Gumball totally gave us a really cool reference in this episode. Gumball may be a modern cartoon, but some of its references go way back. In the episode The Thing, when Richard is heading to the supermarket with the kids, there's a scene where the grocery aisles start closing in with a super cool magical effect. The funny part? It's a direct reference to The Matrix from the 90s, there's a scene that looks exactly the same when Neo asks for weapons to fight the enemy. In the very first episode of this season, there's a super funny scene that most people probably didn't catch. The whole neighborhood and Gumball's house are covered in dust and cobwebs. Our main character wakes up with an alarm clock ringing beside his brother Darwin. That's when the two start talking, and the orange fish says they're 7 years late for school. That's a direct reference to the fact that no new episodes had aired since 2018. But the funniest part, besides everything being covered in dust like the whole universe was abandoned, is how Darwin figures out they've been gone for 7 years just by looking at a regular clock that only shows the time. How exactly does he know that? That's just classic Gumball craziness. Here's an Easter egg straight from Gumball's own universe. When they arrive at the supermarket, we see Quattro Pepperoni in the parking lot with his groceries. This might not be a huge reference since Mr. Pizza isn't a main character, but it does confirm that we're gonna see tons of our favorite characters in this new season. Gumball is back, and that's awesome. And you know who's always coming back? Us. Just hit the subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Inside the supermarket in the episode The Burger, there's a funny detail on one of the cookie boxes. When Gumball and Darwin are looking for healthy food, we spot a brown box with a kind of cookie that's super popular in the US. But if you take a closer look, it looks exactly like the Christmas cookie from the Shrek movies. Sure, everyone knows that cookie is pretty common, but come on, it's impossible not to think of that gingerbread guy from the world of the most famous ogre ever when you see Gumball's cookie box. Was this a Shrek reference? Maybe, especially since Shrek 5 is also making a comeback. We all know that in Gumball's world, Larry is the guy who works everywhere. He's got a million jobs. He's basically the Mr. Rabbit of Peppa Pig, but for this show. But it turns out Larry has a boss, and in the very first episode, we finally find out who it is. The richest character in town is a burger. Yep, literally a talking burger. Too bad he left Gumball starving, because even though he didn't show up on screen, it's clear that Larry's boss ended up as someone's dinner. In Gumball's house, there's always a box of cereal sitting on top of the fridge. It's from a well-known brand in the show called Daisy Flakes. In the episode The Burger, we can spot the blue box on top of the fridge, but it's kind of hard to read. That same cereal shows up in the grocery store, and now it's called New Daisy Flakes. So Gumball's favorite cereal got a recipe change. Do the Wattersons like the new version? The new season of Gumball is filled with things that became popular over the past 10 years, and one of them is Instagram filters. When Granny JoJo video calls Darwin, we see those classic video chat filters show up. Dog ears, hard eyes, fake makeup, and even chicken nuggets. It's a fun reference to what the internet looks like today, something that definitely didn't exist back when the last season aired. Still in the episode The Thing, Gumball makes a reference to one of the internet's most iconic memes in recent years, the square-jawed Giga Chad. When he suggests fleeing the country and getting plastic surgery to change his face, he shows a photo of a man with a massive square jaw, which is clearly a reference to the meme. In episode 5 of the new season, while Gumball is making fart noises with his mouth, there's a sticker on the school lockers that looks a lot like the little green alien from Toy Story, the one with 3 eyes and 2 antennae. In Toy Story, that alien only has 1 antenna, which is the difference here, but it's still clearly a cool Easter egg. And you know what's even cooler? Picking one of the 2 videos we've picked just for you. This isn't goodbye, because we'll see you in the next video. Catch you later!